What I don't understand is in 1985, 86, after the retina problem, they sent him to school with me for a few days, weeks, I don't know, and then they took him away. But then they took him away and then I couldn't remember. Yasmine I don't know her last name, but it was Yasmine. She looked like a cat. She was a cat girl. I slept over her house. We were young. She was a very nice persona. She was from, I don't know where, but her parents only listened to classical music, and that I liked a lot. And their house was nice and quiet, which was nice. But she even said, at that time, she says, my family knows your friend, Mark King. He was sad he had to leave so quick. Whatever, we had won the conversation. And at that point, I was like, did Mark King, was he, because I was new in school. And I said, where was he from? I could not at that point, because it was not fresh anymore. It was like maybe a week or 2 weeks later, and it was just gone. But that is what they have been doing with database problematic with the balloon. There was one balloon to protect. It was Mark King and myself, which was Niklaus, under the assumed name for America, so this way we didn't upset people elsewhere. And we didn't raise red flags, since Nicole's parents were nobodies. So, that was that. But then he was taken, and then, like, nobody mentioned him. And then there was, Arvanz, I know in that class, she mentioned, I had written in my diary, and it was turquoise with pink paper, and she had asked me for something in the class. I went home, I looked in the diary, and I had this big love story about my first kiss and how in love with him I was, and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, I don't even remember this day. I said, how is that possible? To Miss Arvanz. And so she took a copy of the papers. She asked if she could have a copy of the diary, which I said she could. And she said, this sounds like every woman's dream. And I said, yes, I agree. I said, but how do I get back to him? Because I don't even know where he came from. So that was an interesting piece of, and she had me write something. And then at the bottom of the page, she says, do you know have you learned what a square root is? And I said, no. So she showed me what the sign was, which I did on my paper. And she said, I want to make sure that on this paper I make certain notes. So she blocked certain words, like a box around certain words. And then at the bottom we did a special, I looked like a check mark is what I said, but she said, no, it's a special numerics. It's a square root. She says, where you come from, they square root letters. She says, where I come from, they square root numbers. And I said, okay. And she says, but you've never seen it? I said, no. And then I signed my name twice. And then she signed. So this way we had a paper together from third grade. I think it was either 1986 or 1987. I don't know. It's on my record somewhere, I'm sure. But what I don't understand is, even after Alexander was born and I got some phone call when I got back from Virginia and bought a house in Ronkonkoma, the zip code was 11779 for the federal mailing in New York State. That's where I brought Alex home from the hospital. I had gotten a phone call. They wanted me to do something. I had no Facebook at the time, and then they wanted me to do heritage, which I hadn't even heard of, but I wanted to know. So I tried that, but that I had a problem with, and then they locked my account. Then I had to do some Department of DHS with some national security, which I had no clue what the hell they were doing in 2000. He was born in 2005, so 2005, 2006, maybe 2007. I don't know. I don't remember what year. But it was a conference call with a whole bunch of celebrity whatevers from whatever department of security they worked, trying to get on some like path or understanding based on the records that they had going forward and what had happened in the past, which made no sense to me because I said, okay, well, if you know something that I don't know, but I don't know what you're talking about. So, and that's what he said, well, I have your husband on the line. I think that's what he said. And then he says she doesn't know me as that. I think that's what was said. And then I said, oh, he said, but you haven't met yet, or you don't remember meeting him. I said, well, that's possible. I don't remember a lot of things, but that's not unusual. And that was on the phone call. And it's like, I know that I was born for someone, but you just have me waiting. And then you expect me to, what, feel bad about something? Or to give more than the 41 years I was born? When you just keep raping and robbing the system? I mean, I don't know what else to do. If you want me to fix something, come speak to my face. The only thing I want is him, and then we could go meet whatever. I mean, it worked in the 80s. What the hell happened between the 80s and high school? And in 1998, and then all of a sudden, it's just like the whole world. He walked out. I had my ugly yellow jacket with that blue bag, and I'm crying like a hysterical, whiny, whatever girl. And I'm heartbroken, and I'm really, I was beyond myself. And now in hindsight, I realize why. My whole life was about to go down the fucking toilet. And there is NYX space that I've walked through the plane of the cavity, and I saw the, looks like the inside of what they put on, the only way I can explain it is it's the fabric of time and space. It looks like collagen fibers with different, like buttons, but they're bubbles of different information signal that was cross-planed. It was like frozen in time and cross-planed to try to find some of the viruses that they have been sending when they move things in this new general whatever you've gotten of them trying to clone and then send Viking, the virus, via the virus line of we're just going to take your whole life and we'll blame everything on you and we'll just live nice, happy lives and keep everything and nobody will know any better. And you'll just sound crazy. Right. So do I speak out loud about all of the things that are possible in my world? And after I leave? Because I don't see this getting any better. I see a whole lot of new problems, but that's nothing new based on the level of the equipment. But you have to have a hole and a vortex and a route in an equipment that you built. So you have to have some level of understanding on his line or mine. There's only two. In order to hold us hostage. So I'm confused about how we lost equipment, how anything else was built, and how anything else was stolen. It's genetic. Yeah, you guys are there, but you're like ancillary. We have to protect the main line, because he and I go on for infinity, external, eternal flame. And then we come back on system. You guys are just cycle. You're like one of many accounts that we have. This is one life, and then we go on to other genetic lives. And I don't need people searching for extraterrestrial life out there. That is going to actually it already has, but you know, I know that they are holding lines in time and space. I mean, oh my God. You are messing with genetics so far into an alphanumeric multiple database living system that you don't even know how they are like gigantic grist, GRIST mills of gears and multiple stacked on top of one another. But your whatever you are tuned with in your instrument, some can get only so far to peak, which then should kill you immediately. That's the way it was set up. But then some can't even see past. It just looks like it ends. That's because you are not wise or old enough. Go back. Because, I mean, this is like such a nightmare in accounting, which is what I call it. Because there's numbers beyond numbers, plus signatures, plus the heat. I mean, it's the photon spectrum on top of wave. I mean, it is so many sciences. Some you just maybe discovered, but only by observation. You would have never even known they existed before. Why are these things going on? These people that we're living with in this life are not the deserving of learning new science. They've fucked up nuclear bombs last generation. Why are they continuing and advancing? Why are they up in the sky? Why are they out of the atmosphere? What are all those projects? Who approved that? They should be fixing my life first before they get any reward. Do you know how many people are starving and are, like, there's genetic wars now going on? And then there's blackmail accounts. I mean, there's so many security issues. And you're, what, Halon Kaleidoscope? Oh, let's do the kaleidoscope. Let's let them find the God particle. Why? Get their asses into some committee and make them fucking move. Shoot at their feet while they dance. Get moving. Like, 41 years is no excuse at the amount of problems that you've caused and the amount of people that you have at your disposal.